It's day 31 of the partial shutdown, and President Trump is blasting Democrats for rejecting his proposal to reopen the government. The president offering up protections for DACA recipients in exchange for border wall funding. But Democrats are refusing to budge. Senator Chuck Schumer ramping up the rhetoric while slamming Trump's compromise.
If he opens up the government, we'll discuss whatever he offers, but hostage-taking should not work. The American people are overwhelmingly against it. The president's poll ratings are plummeting because even his own supporters agree that this is a bad tactic. And it's very hard to negotiate when a gun is held to your head.
Republicans could be ready to force the hand of Democrats. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he's going to bring up Trump's plan for a vote this week. And just a moment ago, well, 13 minutes ago, actually, President Trump tweeted about the wall again, and he said this: if Nancy Pelosi thinks that walls are immoral, why isn't she requesting that we take down all the existing walls between the U.S. and Mexico, even the new ones just built in San Diego, at their very strong urging? Let millions of unchecked strangers just flow into the United States. And that actually was a question that I wanted to ask, Greg, which is the Democrats have said that the wall is amoral.
Yes.
So if you're there, how do you then negotiate to like a border security point?
I said this last week. I said,
such a good point. I wanted to bring it up.
I said that they should actually remove the walls between Mexico and America. And it's, I think I said this last week. By the way, is it amoral or immoral?
Well, I think that, well, you tell me, you're the editor.
It's immoral. We have a problem here. The more Trump negotiates with practical compromises, the more infantile and personal the Democrats seem to be taking this. But it shows the problem. They started at the wrong end. You should always begin with a multifaceted approach. The problem, the prison of two ideas. We keep saying you can only have one position, right? You're either for immigration or against immigration, and that is baloney. You can have a number of different positions on immigration. For example, I'm pro-immigration, and I'm pro-refugee with extreme vetting. I don't see how I think, refugees make great citizens because they're grateful. Yeah. But you got to vet extreme vetting because you never know if there's going to be terrorists coming in, the old Skittle metaphor. But I'm living outside of this prison of two ideas. Mm-hmm. And we're now stuck in this thing where you have to be this or this, and it's killing the debate.
The other rhetorical excess I noticed this weekend is the Democrats saying that the president is taking hostages. And again, I guess it's like, wow, are we really talking about that? I mean, when we're talking about border security, the president has come off his position of like a whole wall across the whole thing, like that. But hostage taking, that takes it to a new extreme. Hard to negotiate with that.
Schumer said that we'll reopen the government and we can't even discuss border security until you do that. Well, the president offered Nancy Pelosi that. He said, you know what, if we reopen the government, can we do a deal on a barrier later on? And you know what? She said, no. And then he said, bye-bye, and that was the time he walked out of the room. Greg brings up the point, if you say you're for the wall, the Democrats have to say we're against the wall. Thus, every reporter should be asking that very question. Congresswoman, Senator, do you believe that we should tear down the existing walls since they are immoral and since they obviously don't work? You would have the government reopened right now if we had a fair media in this country, because they would be asking these logical questions to Democrats and not protecting the Democratic position. And the intensity would be so strong on Nancy, she would have to come to the negotiating table. So far, I believe she's lost this argument. If you look at her getting grounded on the flight, if you look at the Puerto Rican PR disaster, Trump is moderating his position. These logical arguments, they just can't argue with. All they say is, oh, it's mean. So if you look at what he's offering humanitarian assistance. He's offering changes to the asylum. He says only 280 additional walls to be needed and to be built. And what are they saying? No? And millions of people are still not getting paid? I don't think that's very compassionate.
Juan, the Democrats don't seem to think that they're losing.
They're not losing. I mean, it's, Jesse, if this was about the media, I don't think it's about the media. I think it's about the president and his stand and what he considers to be a political symbol that he can't afford to lose on. They would have gone back and said, hey, wait a minute, Mr. President, I thought Mitch McConnell, the Republicans in the Senate, joined in saying, let's keep the government open, let's keep people getting paid, let's keep our economy growing, and then let's negotiate. Initially, what did the president say? And then he said no because of pressure from the right-wing talk show host, or maybe the media, if they were fair, would say, Mr. President, you had a Republican majority for 2 years in the House and the Senate. Didn't seem to be a priority, did it? But here's the thing. He now goes after Nancy Pelosi as radical. Radical? What's radical here is the president has a weak negotiating hand, and I think it's starting to show. I think people were disappointed in what came Saturday. Everybody thought this is going to be a big announcement. He said he's going to do something big on Saturday afternoon.
You didn't like what he offered?
It was a dud.
You didn't like what he offered?
Why?
What
don't you like about the offer?
My God, this is exactly what you would want.
No, absolutely not. He said, listen, let me just say, remember Jesse was saying to me last week, hey, Juan, if it's so easy, why don't you tell me what you want? Well, guess what? The president now is talking about, well, we could have more technology, we could have more border agents, we could have more judges. Yeah. He sounds like he's starting to negotiate on the Democrats' terms. But he doesn't say, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop this shutdown that's hurting our economy.
This is how you stop it, though. He basically said, originally he was just talking about a wall. And I said that was a mistake because he was only focused on the wall. That was the campaign promise, but he had to talk about other things. Now he comes to the table and he says, all right, we need these barriers, but I'm also going to provide the humanitarian aid. I'm also going to provide the border patrol agents.
But he's not getting off the wall.
He gave an extension.
Because you need the wall, Juan, to reduce illegal immigration.
You need the wall for him not to say that he lost and that he got trapped himself.
So what? Walls someplace.
So what? To come on board, he would have to remove the wall. He would have to say, okay, I'm not interested in the steel barriers that the Border Patrol agents have asked for. He would have to remove the component that's the wall in order for the Democrats to get on board. That's because they want to deny him that talking point so that he made a campaign promise, and if he includes that border security measure in there, it's a campaign promise.
Let me say the promise he made was Mexico will pay. I don't see that at all.
Forget about that. Let's
talk about the commercial break. I'll give you a point that would have been a better one for you to make.